The galaxy was vast, filled with countless stars, planets, and civilizations. Some were peaceful, others ambitious, and many were wary of one another. Among these civilizations, humans were mostly seen as curious explorers, resilient, but not dangerous. Many alien species thought humans were limited, slow, and predictable. They had no idea how wrong they were. On a distant council station hovering in the void between two star systems, leaders of powerful alien empires gathered. They debated the rise of humanity. Reports say they survive situations that should destroy them, one diplomat said, his multiple eyes narrowing. Their colonies face disasters, wars, and even strange space phenomena, yet they endure. Another voice, sharp and skeptical, replied, "Endure? They are insignificant. A few hundred planets do not make a species powerful. Let us not waste time worrying about humans." But a third voice, older and more cautious, whispered, "Do not underestimate them. Their resilience is unusual, and they have something we do not see yet. Something hidden." While these alien leaders argued, far from prying eyes, humans trained in secret. On Earth, in hidden bases beneath mountains and deserts, men and women pushed their bodies and minds to the limit. These were not ordinary soldiers. They were humans specially selected and trained to face challenges no one else could handle. Commander Aiden Core, one of the leaders of the human special forces, walked through the training facility. His eyes were sharp, and his movements were precise. Around him, recruits practiced combat drills, simulations, and tactical exercises. Every step was measured, every decision tested. "Remember," he said, "our strength is not just in weapons, it is in our thinking, our teamwork, and our adaptability. One mistake can cost a life, but one smart decision can change the course of a battle." The recruits nodded, understanding the weight of his words. Unlike most species in the galaxy, humans could adapt quickly. They could make plans on the fly, think creatively, and act decisively under pressure. That flexibility made them unpredictable, and that was their greatest advantage. Meanwhile, far above Earth, a small observation fleet of alien ships scanned the planet. They had heard rumors of human activity, strange technologies, and military operations. They believed these humans were ordinary and expected to find nothing unusual. But the sensors picked up signals they could not explain, patterns of energy, fast communications, and movements too precise to be random. Back on Earth, a communication officer reported, "Commander, all teams are ready. Simulations indicate readiness for any known threat." Commander Core nodded. "Good. Remember, the galaxy does not yet know our full potential. Let's make sure they understand it when the time comes." In the wider galaxy, whispers about humans began to spread. Traders spoke of human colonies surviving attacks from raiders who had destroyed entire alien worlds. Scouts reported seeing humans use advanced technology in ways no other species could replicate. Slowly, the image of humans shifted, from simple survivors to beings of remarkable capability. Yet for all their reputation, humans themselves remained focused. They did not seek glory or fear. Their goal was simple: to protect their people, explore new worlds, and be ready for the challenges that awaited in the galaxy. One night, Commander Core stood alone on a viewing platform, looking at the stars. The lights of distant planets shimmered like diamonds in the darkness. He thought about what the galaxy believed of humans and what humans were truly capable of. "They think we are weak," he said quietly to himself. "They have no idea." In the training halls below, a young recruit named Lyra practiced her combat drills. She stumbled, then quickly recovered, adjusting her stance. Humans had a saying, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Lyra smiled to herself. Every mistake was a lesson. Every challenge was an opportunity. That mindset, more than weapons or technology, was what made humanity special. Across the council station in distant space, alien leaders continued their debates. Some laughed at the humans, dismissing them as curious but harmless. Others were uneasy. They could not identify why, but something about humanity felt different. Something about them was not like any other species in the galaxy. Back on Earth, the sun rose over the training grounds, casting long shadows. The human special forces began their day with the same focus, the same discipline, and the same drive, to be ready for anything. The galaxy did not yet fear them, at least not fully. But that would soon change. And deep in the shadows, hidden from every scanner and spy, humans prepared. Their strength, skill, and strategy were unmatched. The galaxy thought it knew them, but the humans had a plan, and when the time came, no one would be able to underestimate them again. The whispers among the stars had only just begun. The human fleet was small, but precise. Only a few ships, sleek and fast, patrolled the outer rim of explored space. Among them, human special forces prepared for a mission unlike any they had undertaken before. Reports had come in of an alien delegation traveling to Earth, supposedly for diplomacy, but humans knew better. In the galaxy, diplomacy was often the first step before domination. Humans would not be caught unprepared. Commander Aiden Core stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute. His eyes scanned the starfield ahead. "Sensors detect an alien convoy approaching," said the communications officer. "They are broadcasting peaceful signals, but their formation is unusual. They are cautious, or hiding something." Core nodded. "Good. Maintain standard protocols but prepare special units. This may be our first true test." As the alien fleet entered the human defense zone, the ships glimmered with strange energy shields. The aliens moved with precision. Their technology advanced, but their strategy seemed rigid. They assumed humans would react predictably, as most species did. They did not know that humans thrived in unpredictability. The first contact occurred near a neutral space station orbiting a gas giant. Alien delegates boarded the station, and human officials greeted them. The aliens were tall, with shimmering skin and multiple eyes. Their expressions were hard to read. They had expected primitive humans, not beings capable of interstellar diplomacy, with confidence. Ambassador Helena Graves, representing Earth, welcomed them. "We are glad you have come," she said calmly. "We hope this visit can lead to understanding and cooperation." The aliens nodded politely, but their sensors were already active. They scanned the humans, looking for weaknesses, hidden weapons, anything to exploit. Instead, they found discipline, calmness, and unusual awareness. Every human moved with purpose. Every conversation, every gesture was controlled, precise. Then came the demonstration. It was subtle, but it was enough to change perceptions. Human, special forces activated a holographic tactical simulation in the main hall. Within moments, they solved complex combat scenarios, neutralized threats, and coordinated maneuvers faster than the aliens could comprehend. Not a single human moved, without reason, yet every action was creative and unexpected. One alien delegate leaned toward another. "Are they performing live, or is this some simulation?" The other shook its head. "Either way, this is far beyond any training we know. Their coordination, it is unlike anything in the galaxy." Meanwhile, in a secure chamber, human engineers quietly demonstrated new technology. Devices that could disable enemy systems without violence, shields that adapted to attacks, and transporters that moved troops in seconds across the battlefield. The aliens observed, but their arrogance made them hesitate to understand fully. They had assumed humans were primitive. Now, they were unsure. Commander Core later explained to the alien delegation, "We are not here to dominate or destroy. We are here to protect our people and explore. But we are also ready for any threat. Humans have learned to survive because we never underestimate challenges. We adapt, we endure, and we fight with strategy and skill." Some aliens shifted uneasily in their seats. They had never seen confidence like this. Most species relied on sheer numbers, technology, or intimidation. Humans relied on creativity, teamwork, and the ability to think beyond conventional limits. The meeting concluded without conflict, but the impact was already clear. The aliens returned to their ships with new reports. They described humans not as weak or ordinary, but as a species with unpredictable strength, discipline, and intelligence that could challenge even the most advanced civilizations. Back on the human fleet, Commander Kor gathered his officers. "Remember," he said, "they now know humans are capable, but they still do not know the full extent of our special forces. That will remain our advantage until the galaxy truly understands us." In distant star systems, the news spread quickly. Traders, scouts, and rogue fleets whispered of humans who were more than they seemed. Stories of survival, innovation, and now diplomacy with subtle power painted a new picture. Humans were no longer merely resilient. They were formidable, clever, and unpredictable. Even among the alien empires that had once dismissed humanity, unease began to grow. Some debated alliances, wondering if humans would become a threat or a valuable ally. Others simply worried. The rumors alone were enough to make them reconsider strategies, fleets, and plans of expansion. On Earth, life went on normally. Citizens went about their daily routines, unaware of the ripples humanity had created across the galaxy. The special forces returned to training, knowing that this was only the beginning. The first contact had shown their potential, but their real test would come when threats tried to challenge them directly. Commander Kor watched the stars again that night. "They think diplomacy is all we do," he said to his second-in-command. "Let them see what happens when humans truly fight. Then they will understand. Then they will fear, but respect." The galaxy had seen only a glimpse of humanity's power. The aliens assumed they knew what humans were capable of. They were wrong. The humans were ready, and the special forces were prepared to show the galaxy just how special they really were. The whispers among the stars grew louder. Humans had made their first impression, and it was unforgettable. The outer colony of Ardent 9 had always been considered quiet, almost forgotten. Humans had settled there to mine rare resources and study strange phenomena in the nearby asteroid belt. The colony was small but well protected, with automated defenses, surveillance drones, and human special forces stationed nearby. To most alien eyes, it was an easy target. On the bridge of the colony's command center, Captain Mira Valen reviewed incoming sensor data. Her brow furrowed. "Unidentified fleet approaching fast," she said. "They're moving in tight formation. This isn't routine patrol traffic." Lieutenant Reich, her second-in-command, checked the threat analysis. "Based on speed and trajectory, they could strike in under 30 minutes. They're heavily armed." Mira's eyes narrowed. "Alert. The Special Forces. Prepare every defensive system. Let's see how predictable they really think we are." The attacking fleet was from the Tyrix Dominion, a species known for aggressive expansion and overwhelming firepower. They assumed humans were slow, reactive, and weak. They had studied human colonies, expecting minimal resistance. They did not know that humans had learned to fight differently, using strategy, coordination, and sheer creativity. As the first Tyrix ships entered firing range, automated defenses opened fire. Missiles and energy pulses streaked through the void, but the Tyrix ignored them, confident in their numbers. Then the humans acted. From hidden positions, the elite human special forces deployed using teleportation units and stealth ships. Their movements were silent, calculated, and nearly invisible. One moment, they were on Earth. The next, they were aboard the enemy fleet. Commander Kor, observing the operation from orbit, instructed calmly, "Strike with precision. Disable, confuse, and retreat if necessary. Focus on strategy, not brute force. Make them question every move." Within minutes, human teams infiltrated the Tyrix fleet. They hacked navigation systems, disabled engines, and created false signals. Tyrix pilots scrambled, confused by phantom ships and impossible maneuvers. Communications were jammed, leaving the attackers unable to coordinate. Panic began to spread among their ranks. On the colony, Mira coordinated ground defenses. Human drones moved with speed and precision, targeting enemy landing units before they could reach the surface. Human soldiers, equipped with adaptive armor and energy shields, intercepted boarding parties. Every move was calculated, every counterattack unexpected. One Tyrix officer shouted in disbelief, "How are they everywhere at once? They are not supposed to be this coordinated." Captain Mira smiled, watching a group of young recruits guide damaged enemy ships away from the colony. "Humans," she said softly, "always find a way." Meanwhile, above the battlefield, the Tyrix fleet tried to regroup. Their formation was shattered, their leaders uncertain. The human special forces used the chaos to their advantage, targeting command ships and creating illusions of larger numbers. For the Tyrix, it was as if ghosts were striking from every direction. By nightfall, the battle was over. The Tyrix survivors retreated, confused and demoralized. The human colony had suffered minimal damage and not a single civilian had been harmed. The special forces had achieved what seemed impossible. A small human contingent had outsmarted and outmaneuvered a fleet many times their size. News of the victory spread across nearby star systems. Traders and scouts told tales of humans appearing in multiple locations at once, disabling fleets and protecting colonies without the large armies other species relied upon. The legend of human ingenuity grew with each retelling. Back on Earth, Commander Kor debriefed his officers. "They thought they could take advantage of us," he said. "They underestimated humans, as they always do. But we don't rely on their assumptions. We rely on skill, strategy, and teamwork. That is what makes our special forces special." Mira stood on the observation deck of Ardent 9, watching the stars twinkle over the repaired colony. "They came for us," she said. "But they left wondering if they understood what humans are capable of." Rick nodded. "The galaxy is starting to notice. Whispers are growing louder. Soon, every species will know that humans are not just survivors. They are a force to respect." Commander Kor's voice came over the comm. "Remember this, everyone. Victory is not measured by numbers or firepower. It is measured by strategy, adaptability, and courage. Humans will continue to surprise the galaxy, and when the time comes, the galaxy will see the full strength of our special forces. The Tyrix Dominion would never forget this battle." Across their homeworld, leaders argued over what had happened. How could a smaller, less technologically advanced species defeat their fleet so completely? Fear spread quickly, but so did admiration, grudging though it might be. In hidden bases and remote colonies, humans resumed training. They knew that the galaxy had noticed. They also knew that challenges would only grow larger from this point forward. But humans thrived on challenges. It was in their nature. Above Ardent 9, the stars shone brightly. The whispers had become conversations. Stories of human courage, strategy, and skill were traveling faster than any fleet could move. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated, and the human special forces were only getting started. The galaxy was changing. News of human victories and unmatched strategy spread across star systems like a growing storm. Some alien empires dismissed it at first, calling humans lucky. Others were not so sure. Whispers of the human special forces became louder, and fear mixed with curiosity in equal measure. On the planet Lithera, a group of alien rebels gathered in secret. They had long suffered under the control of the Tyrannix Empire, a ruthless species, known for crushing opposition. Supplies were low, morale was weaker, and hope was fading. Then the rumors reached them. Humans had defended colonies, outsmarted fleets, and turned small teams into powerful forces. Commander Kor arrived on Lithera with a small contingent of special forces. They landed quietly, using stealth ships that were almost invisible in the planet's thick atmosphere. Rebel leaders waited in dimly lit rooms, nervous but eager. "You are humans," one leader said. "We have heard stories. They say your soldiers are like ghosts, striking without warning and defeating impossible odds." Kor smiled faintly. "We do not seek glory," he said. "We seek balance. You fight for your freedom, and we will help you succeed. But you must learn, adapt, and trust your instincts. That is how humans survive." Over the next few days, the human special forces trained the rebels. They taught tactics that seemed simple at first, but carried incredible power when executed. Together, ambushes using the environment, rapid communication to coordinate attacks, and psychological strategies to confuse stronger opponents. Humans emphasized teamwork, adaptability, and precision over sheer numbers. At first, the rebels struggled. They had been trained to follow orders rigidly, relying on strength rather than strategy. But humans had a way of inspiring courage. Slowly, the rebels began to see new possibilities. They moved faster, thought creatively, and coordinated attacks with a fluidity they had never imagined. Meanwhile, the Tyrannic's empire grew uneasy. Reports reached their war council. Small rebel groups were defeating patrol fleets, evading traps, and striking strategically in locations the Tyrannics thought safe. "This is impossible," said one general. "How can humans teach them so quickly? How can a weaker species create such powerful resistance?" The turning point came during a Sci-fi battle in the asteroid belt surrounding Lithera. The Tyrannics fleet tried to blockade the planet, expecting a straightforward suppression. But humans had prepared. Using the asteroid terrain, special forces coordinated rebel ships in complex maneuvers that made the larger Tyrannics fleet vulnerable. Humans disabled the flagship's engines using precise strikes while rebels ambushed supply ships. The battle ended with the Tyrannics retreating, humiliated and confused. Lithera's rebels celebrated, not just for victory but for the lessons they had learned. They had gained confidence, skill, and hope, things humans had given freely through training and guidance. Commander Kor watched from orbit, observing the results. "Victory is not just about fighting," he said to his officers. "It is about empowering others, showing them their potential, and letting them fight with skill and courage. That is how humans change the galaxy. One action, one alliance, one lesson at a time." In neighboring systems, news of Lithera's victory spread quickly. The story was simple but powerful. Humans had trained a smaller force and helped them defeat a superior enemy. Across the galaxy, species began to rethink their assumptions. Humans were no longer just clever survivors. They were symbols of innovation, courage, and hope. Back on Earth, ordinary citizens went about their lives, unaware of the growing legend. Special forces returned to training for future missions, knowing that every action built a larger reputation. They understood that their work was about more than defeating enemies. It was about shaping perceptions, inspiring allies, and showing the galaxy the power of human adaptability. In secret, alien governments debated strategy. Some considered alliances with humans, hoping to learn from them or gain favor. Others feared confrontation, realizing that underestimating humans could lead to disaster. Across the stars, whispers of humans had grown into conversations. Some called them heroes, others called them unpredictable threats. But all knew they had changed the balance of power. On Lithera, the rebels thanked the humans before they departed. "You have done more than fight with us," one said. "You have shown us what we can be. The galaxy will remember this day." Commander Kor nodded. "The galaxy already fears humans," he said quietly. "But what it does not yet know is the full strength of our special forces. That knowledge will come in time." As humans departed, their ships disappeared into the stars, leaving hope behind. The turning point was clear. Humans were no longer just participants in galactic events. They were influencers. Their skill, courage, and ability to teach others made them special. The galaxy watched, listened, and whispered. Humans had begun shaping the future, and no one could ignore them anymore. The galaxy had changed. The whispers that once traveled quietly through star systems had become undeniable truths. Humans were no longer just resilient survivors or clever strategists. They were legends. Every species that had once dismissed them now studied their actions with careful attention. The human special forces had become the symbol of humanity's power, courage, and ingenuity. Commander Aiden Kor stood aboard the flagship Resolute, observing a galaxy in motion. Reports came in from multiple systems, human-led missions protecting colonies, mediating conflicts, and training allies. Everywhere humans went, efficiency, strategy, and courage followed. Alien leaders debated whether to challenge them, ally with them, or avoid them entirely. Each choice carried risk. On the planet Syraxis, a coalition of alien species had gathered to discuss the human phenomenon. "We underestimated them," said one elder, its voice heavy with regret. "They do not just survive. They adapt, they teach, and they inspire. Their special forces are unlike anything we have faced." Another added, "It is not only their skill in battle, it is their creativity, their unpredictability. They force us to think differently. They have become a standard, a measure for the rest of the galaxy." Meanwhile, humans were quietly working. Special forces teams patrolled far reaches of space, scouting for potential conflicts, protecting innocent colonies, and preparing for threats. Their technology was advanced but practical. Their training was unmatched. But above all, their mindset, adaptable, strategic, and resilient, set them apart. On the remote world of Venar, a human team worked with a local species threatened by raiders. With minimal resources, the humans organized defenses, trained locals in tactics, and set up early warning systems. When the raiders attacked, the locals fought bravely alongside the humans, coordinating strikes and counterattacks. Within hours, the raiders were defeated, their fleet scattered. A young local warrior looked at Commander Kor in awe. "How can so few do so much?" he asked. Kor smiled. "It is not only about numbers or weapons," he said. "It is about thinking ahead, trusting your team, and using every advantage wisely. Humans are not stronger than everyone else, but we are persistent, adaptable, and clever. That is our strength." In the Tyrix Empire, leaders convened urgently. Their fleets had been defeated repeatedly by humans and their allies. "They are everywhere," a general said, slamming a clawed hand on the table. "We cannot predict them, we cannot overwhelm them, we cannot ignore them. The humans have become a force of their own." Even the most powerful species began seeking alliances with humans, hoping to learn from them, gain their favor, or simply avoid conflict. Humans accepted some partnerships, refused others, and always acted with integrity. Their reputation grew not just because of victories in battle, but because of their principles, fairness, and the way they uplifted allies. On Earth, ordinary humans remained unaware of the full scale of their species' influence. Children played, in parks students studied, and families went about their daily lives. Yet far above, the special forces operated silently, ensuring that humanity's place in the galaxy remained secure. Commander Kor watched the stars, thinking of the long journey. From whispered rumors to first contact, from defensive victories to training allies, humans had changed the course of galactic events. The galaxy had feared them before, but after witnessing the strength, skill, and strategy of the human special forces, fear had transformed into respect, admiration, and cautious awe. Across multiple star systems, stories circulated of small, human teams defeating powerful fleets, of humans turning hopeless situations into victories, of humans teaching others to fight smarter, not just harder. Legends were told around alien campfires, debated in starship corridors, and written into history books. The galaxy could no longer ignore humanity. Yet despite all the attention and praise, humans remained humble. They knew their work was ongoing, that challenges would continue to appear, and that the galaxy was vast and unpredictable. They had no desire for conquest or domination, only for survival, protection, and growth. Kor turned to his officers. "Remember this," he said. "We are not legends because of glory or fear. We are legends because of our courage, our skill, and our ability to inspire others. The galaxy will remember humans, not for what we destroy, but for what we protect and teach." As the human fleet departed from Syraxis, a distant alien scout ship watched silently. Its sensors could not detect everything humans had done. Yet, even from afar, the scout transmitted one simple message: humans are unlike anything we have ever faced. The galaxy had feared humans before. They had been cautious, curious, and dismissive. But now, after meeting the Special Forces and witnessing humanity's ingenuity and courage firsthand, every species had to acknowledge one undeniable truth. Humans were special, and the legend of humanity would continue to grow. One mission, one battle, and one act of bravery at a time. The stars shimmered as the human fleet moved onward, calm yet unstoppable. Across the galaxy, the story was the same. Wherever humans went, hope, courage, and clever strategy followed. The galaxy had met the human special forces, and it would never forget them.